Greetings, Berkshire County, and thank you for joining us here on iBerkshires TV. As you can see, we have a return guest on, and one of my favorite people and one of my favorite institutions, Bob Fraser from MountainOne. You're actually our second, the only other person we've had on twice, mayor of Pittsfield.
Wow, an esteemed company. Thank you.
You are an esteemed company.
And thanks for that nice introduction.
Absolutely, and we love having you. We were actually talking off air a little bit, and I was asking you what MountainOne is involved in, and you said it might be easier to ask what we're not involved in, which I love to hear. But one of the things that you work closely with, Lever out of North Adams.
Sure.
I was reading up on them and doing my research. They're an interesting operation. Why don't you explain, first of all, what they do and what your involvement is?
Well, one of our core commitments as a company is community engagement, and I think that can take on a couple of different paths. We do a lot of sponsorships within our communities for nonprofit social agencies, but over the last couple of years, we've added to our budget to invest, especially here in Berkshire County, in organizations that are driving innovation and an entrepreneurial spirit that would result in the creation of new companies, more jobs within this area, and diversify the mix away from a reliance on tourism and cultural centers. We have partnered up with Lever in the past as a supporter of the company by various sponsorships, donations. Last year, we were their primary and lead sponsor for their Innovation Summit.
That's great.
Which, if anyone attended over at Williams Inn, you heard about some great stories of companies that are in the past the formation stage and really gaining traction as new industries within Berkshire County. And Lever works on a couple of different paths, internships, and we hire a number of interns from Lever during the summer, and those folks have been a valuable resource for us for special projects that we've been working on internally. Their space for incubation of companies and providing the resources and the mentors for young companies moving past the idea stage to some formation and development. And where most recently our board has approved a six-figure investment in Lever's upcoming venture fund.
They have a new fund. I know they've raised millions of dollars already for startups, and you can talk about, it's hard to put a number on the jobs. Let's say a couple hundred that they've just created. These are real hard Berkshire County jobs, but they're coming out with a new fund that you're involved in.
Right, and our board has approved it. It still needs approval from the Commissioner of Banks, but I see that forthcoming shortly. And again, it's a commitment to create an environment of entrepreneurialism. Whether or not you're being funded by Lever or not, I think it's important that there are to see the byproducts of companies sprouting out. You look at all the, as an example, the companies that moved into the NORAD mill.
Yeah,
that was a great example. And the ideas that are being generated by these young companies, and we feel it's very important to support those companies. Not only through our financial commitment to a Lever, but also designing products, banking products that can meet their needs. And that's a key initiative for our banking group to develop a product that would serve the needs of a young company. And we'll be rolling that out in the next couple of months.
And I actually think that's really important because we sit here and we talk about all the great things that MountainOne does. But business and community service, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. This also, you guys are in business to do business. And on one hand, you're helping, but you're also creating a new sort of customer base. And it's what it's going to keep you here and allow you to still do great community service things.
Well,
and it's an innovative way to think of it.
Yeah, developing that new customer base is critically important for us. Community banks are dealing with the challenge of an aging population and aging customer base. And it's not just us, it's the community bank industry. And we need to be more creative as to how we develop relationships with this next generation, diversify our customer mix so that we're not reliant on any concentration of customers. And it's also about the greater good. We thrive when our communities thrive. And I think it's incumbent upon us as a community institution to reinvest back into our communities for the good of the community, not just addressing certain socioeconomic woes, but to create an environment that leads to the development of living wage jobs, prosperity, and so that our communities are doing better and they can reinvest back into themselves for public safety, for education, and just an overall higher quality of life.
It's corporate responsibility would be maybe the shorthand way of putting it. It's something that you feel, and I think, and I certainly know some of your employees. I think we all probably know somebody who works at MountainOne. There's a particular type of person who I think is drawn to MountainOne, and I know you've been going through a marketing campaign, and part of that is sort of an educating of your workforce. We want to set these type of standards, and it runs from, we were actually just talking, you started out as a teller.
I did.
And it seems to be very important to the management of MountainOne. It doesn't matter where you've come from. Degree, multiple degrees, no degree. If you're there, you have the opportunity to flourish.
I think that's so critically important. And I started out as a teller a million years ago, but I was given an opportunity to succeed. And that's the environment we want to provide for our employees. And I think it ties into even an MCLA as an example.
This is big anniversary coming up.
Absolutely, 125th anniversary. And I look at that school, and when you look at the enrollment, how many first-time, the percentage of first-time college-bound students in that family, that is creating generational success down the road. And I feel that we're aligned in that regard. We want to also have that environment where we're providing our employees with an opportunity for great success. We're investing heavily in training and development of our employees, and it's also a realistic and necessary investment, because as the baby boomer generation starts to retire or has started to retire, we're all facing succession issues. So how do we build up that depth throughout the entire organization that is going to benefit the company, the employees, and our customers?
And by the way, what you were a teller, a self-admitted, not a good one.
I was fair to middling.
Fair to middling teller, and you're sitting here with us now.
I actually used to tell people I was the guy inside the ATM. All these interviews could be longer, especially with Bob, especially with you and other guests we've had. We've got about 30 seconds, a minute left. You also get involved with Hillcrest with that amazing golf tournament they throw, that they raise a ridiculous amount of money. What a wonderful job they do in our community and taking care of so many people. Just absolutely love being aligned with them and supporting them.
If there's a way, anybody interested, you can find it on the Hillcrest website, and probably MountainOne as well. I've actually been lucky enough to play in it. It's an incredible day, and they raise an amazing amount of money in Hillcrest. If you don't know what Hillcrest does, check them out. And if you don't know what MountainOne does, if you've seen their billboards, it's investing, it's banking, it's insurance. It's a full service local bank.
Right. We like to think of ourselves as a community bank that offers all the services that an individual or a business would need.
This is why he's the CEO, because he can put things succinctly that I cannot. Bob, it's always great to see you.
Jeff, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bob Fraser, CEO of MountainOne, our sponsor for this week's show and one of our favorite people. Thank you for joining us on iBerkshires TV. Please come back.